The tattoo industry is changing, and it's changing every day. This started as pirates basically just doing what they love to do, going against everything that this society kind of deemed correct, and now has changed into this very mainstream, flashy superstar type of thing. But now it's changed and it's very different. I feel like it's starting to get worse and better at the same time. You know, we have artists out here that have been tattooing for a year, 2-3 years, if that, who are taking apprentices, teaching people to tattoo. We got artists out here that are more worried about the way they look on social media, flashing money, flashing houses, cars. Certain artists joining together to change the industry. Might push the industry forward, bring it more mainstream. Some things aren't correct. You know, we got dudes out here filtering their tattoos and not correctly showing normal people what real tattoos actually look like. You know, and tattooing, it's here, it's gonna stay. You know, there's billions of dollars coming into this industry. It's gonna keep getting worse with more bigger companies that do not care about tattooing that are gonna keep trying to get money out of this. And there are artists out here that are trying to take some of that money. Eventually they will, and that's if you're very persistent and you keep trying to take advantage of it. And there are a lot of old school people, old school artists that are gonna go against everything, but it really doesn't matter. Eventually everyone kind of catches on and joins the winning team basically. I highly recommend you worry about the art. Keep working, keep doing what you're doing. Eventually everything changes, your mindset. You know, when I started tattooing, it was just about getting better every single day. Nothing else really mattered. It was just about the artwork, about tattooing. Eventually I started to make a little bit of money and I started to realize this could help. And it did. Eventually I started to get bigger and bigger, and it really changed my life, and I started to see the bigger picture. I started to realize all the fake things in this industry. All these people on social media trying to pretend to be someone they're not. These filters on these tattoos. You know, people barely joining the industry, trying to teach other people, show people other things when they barely even know. And that's just because of the way social media has made other people seem. They make them seem cool because they're doing this. Another thing is a lot of people let the good comments, the money get to their head. You know, when you have, say, 20 to 100 people in a month, a couple months, always saying how good you are in your comments, in your DMs, you start to believe that. A lot of people start to believe it and it gets to their head. A lot of times these people aren't that good at tattooing, but they let it get to their head and that's what they believe. So when someone real calls them out, they don't know how to act. They think someone's a hater. And some of you guys might be thinking I'm just hating on these certain artists, but I'm not. It's the truth. It's being real. It's facts. You know, it isn't a thing where I'm hating on this next person because they got more of this or they got more of that. It's just the reality of it. A lot of these artists, you know, are gonna have a big surprise when this industry starts to become more saturated, and the ones that stand out are the ones with actual good work, with actual good tattoos. Not the dudes on social media saying their full days are $3,000, $4,000, whatever X amount of money, and the quality isn't there eventually. And I honestly feel one day, there are already a lot of tattoo shops, tattoo brands that are out here. Most of the top tattoo brands that we look at, a lot of them, they're just worried about the money. They do not care about you, the art, any of that. They're worried about the money. The same way these other these new needle cartridges are starting to come out, and they're emailing people, they're DMing people about to get a sponsorship by them. And now I'm seeing all these other artists starting to get sponsored when they aren't the best artists out here, and they feel like they made it, or they're feeling like they're someone because they're sponsored by these certain needles brands or whatever, and the needles aren't that good, but they just feel higher than other artists because they are sponsored. And you guys got to realize that a lot of these needles suck, and it's the truth. A lot of these needles suck, but people want to be sponsored, fly a banner, but you got to be careful when you do things like that, because if you have a big following and these people are seeing you promote these things that suck, eventually it's gonna hurt your own brand, because people are gonna see you as not reliable with what you're promoting. And another thing is keeping it real. Also, you want to keep it real. You want to be showing these things that are actually good products. You know, all these cartridges that are being shipped from a certain country, they're all similar, they're all the same. You guys got to be careful with all of that. And for all you sponsored artists, there's a lot of very good artists that are sponsored, I'm not gonna lie. But if the cartridges are really not that good, don't promote them. All these brands, they're just trying to make money. That's all it is, it's about money, and I understand that. You know, as much as I'm an artist, I am still a businessman. I understand from that point of view. I understand you're trying to push things a certain way, and I get that. But just be careful with the people you're working with, the brands you're working with. Make sure you really do your research on them. But anyway, shout out to all the new artists coming into the tattoo game. I really don't care if it gets super saturated or all these shows start bringing in more people. It makes it better for the brands that are already kind of built, that are building, that are here, for the artists that are here. But I'm looking forward for the next 10 years with tattooing to see how big it actually gets. The new TV shows, you know, the new brands, the brands that actually stay. Just seeing the whole change, especially with social media, how anyone, whether you've been tattooing for 3 years to 20 years, with social media now it doesn't really matter. You could blow up tomorrow on TikTok and be booked out for a whole year. Everything's changing, but it's 2024. Start working, worry about the art, everything else is irrelevant.